Kiro 7 at 11 starts right now.
Now at 11, breaking news out of Michigan. 6 people are dead and 3 others are hurt in what police are calling a series of random murders.
And we can tell you that within the past 20 minutes, police say a possible suspect is in custody. It's all unfolding in Kalamazoo. That's about 140 miles due west of Detroit. 2 of the injured people are in critical condition, the other listed in serious condition. Investigators say the suspect opened fire on 3 different parking lots in the area. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you updates as we get them.
Tonight, the first photos of the Spanaway mother of 2, who police say was gunned down by her boyfriend. 27-year-old Jessica Ortega was killed as she left work this morning. And new tonight, we've learned she had just gotten a protection order against her boyfriend yesterday. Now, after killing Ortega, police say that 41-year-old Marcos Perea went on a shooting spree on I-5 before 12 officers shot him dead.
Kiro 7's Deborah Horn shows us why this tragedy backed up I-5 traffic for miles.
The peace of the University Place Care Center was shattered early Saturday morning by gunfire.
Just a bad thing. It's just first thing I thought was hopefully my mother is okay, and she is.
The patients are good, yes, but the staff is very, very shook up. Some went home because they couldn't work.
The devastation of it could be heard in the voice of the facility administrator as she announced the sad news.
Tragically and without warning, there was a shooting this morning at University Place Care Center that took the life of one of our nurses. This was not a random event, but appears to have been an act of domestic violence.
After the shooting, the suspect jumped on I-5. Soon officers were in hot pursuit through Pierce County, just across the line to Thurston County.
And he starts firing at the officers out of the window of his car.
Lakewood Police Lieutenant Chris Lawler said the suspect was shooting as he sped southbound. Suddenly, he got off I-5, turned around, and got back on the freeway heading north.
We're trying to use stop sticks and things to get him to stop, but it's just not working.
Finally, officers cornered him with a pit maneuver. Then he allegedly got out of his vehicle and opened fire.
A total of 12 officers do shoot. 6 of them are from Lakewood, 5 are from the Pierce County Sheriff's Department, and 1 is from the town of Steilacoom.
The wonder is more people weren't hurt.
We tried to stop him multiple times, and he had plenty of time to think about it, but he was pretty intent on not stopping.
We checked court records and discovered Marcos Perea does have a criminal record, including unlawful possession of a firearm. Deborah Horn, Kiro 7 News.
A live look now at Thorn Lane, where this all ended. Finally, traffic is moving along just fine tonight. That was hardly the case earlier. At one point, the backup stretched more than 15 miles. Some drivers told us it took more than 3 hours to get through all the gridlock.
Y por favor, le pido a la comunidad que por favor me ayuden.
A family is begging for witnesses after they say their relative was the victim of a violent hit and run. Police told them that he was hit not by 1, but 2 cars. Kiro 7's Rob Munoz is live at Harborview Medical Center, where his condition is described as touch and go tonight. Rob.
Yeah, Lindsay, the family says the doctors told them that right now Carlos Diaz has a 50% chance of surviving all of this. That's how severe his injuries are. They also said what was supposed to be a fun night out has turned into a nightmare for them. Teresa Juarez is absolutely crushed after she made a last-minute flight from L.A. to Seattle this morning. As a mother, my heart is destroyed. I don't know. I'm begging God right now. Her son, 24-year-old Carlos Diaz, has been given a 50% chance by doctors at Harborview after he was a victim of not 1, but 2 hit-and-runs this morning. My son is not a dog. He's a boy. If someone caught the cars, I'm begging them to call the police. His cousin told us they were celebrating her birthday last night at the nightclub at Muckleshoot Casino in Auburn. They said around 2 a.m. this morning, Diaz left the casino and was in the crosswalk going to the bingo hall when he was hit by a car.
In the moment of crossing the street, that's when he got hit by a car, and then another car came after him and hit him as well and dragged him down.
Auburn police told them he was dragged at least 25 feet by the second car. Neither of them stopped. Diaz's injuries are severe. Doctors told the family his organs are destroyed. He has severe internal bleeding and needs machines around the clock. Tonight, they're hoping someone comes forward with any evidence and have words for the drivers of both cars.
Why did you walk away? Why did you just leave him like that? You know, he's not an animal. He was a person.
Now, the family is also hoping that surveillance cameras outside the Muckleshoot Casino can help them identify both of these cars. They also said they'll be by his bedside all night long. We're live here at Harborview. I'm Rob Munoz, Kiro 7 News.
New at 11, here's the dramatic rescue that unfolded today in the choppy waters off Gray's Harbor South Jetty. You can see one of 3 surfers that Coast Guard members had to hoist to safety after they were swept away from shore. All 3 surfers, 2 women and a man, were pulled from the waters, we're told, in good condition.
Tonight, the race for the White House is heating up. Hillary Clinton claimed a critical victory in Nevada, but the big waves came in South Carolina. As GOP presidential hopeful Jeb Bush, well, he threw in the towel after a dismal finish there.
That caught a lot of people by surprise, and it was Donald Trump who came away with his 2nd consecutive win. But Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio both hope, with Bush now out of the race, it's anyone's game. CBS News projects Donald Trump as the winner of the South Carolina Republican primary.
I want to begin by thanking the people of South Carolina. This is a special state.
Jeb Bush finished in the bottom 3. He told supporters this was his last primary as a 2016 presidential candidate.
The people of Iowa and New Hampshire and South Carolina have spoken, and I really respect their decision. So tonight, I am suspending my campaign. Yeah.
Trump came out ahead of Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, who finished in a virtual tie for 2nd place. But for Cruz and Rubio, a strong finish in South Carolina means momentum heading into Super Tuesday on March 1st, when almost 600 delegates are at stake.
We can stand together with a proven, consistent, constitutional conservative and bring back morning in America.
The 21st century conservative movement is the son of a bartender and a maid from Cuba, who tonight stands one step closer to being the 45th president of the United States of America.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton savored her victory over Bernie Sanders in the Nevada Democratic caucuses.
I am so thrilled and so grateful to all of my supporters out there.
Women voted for Clinton 57-41, but entrance polls exposed some weaknesses. Clinton lost support among voters who value honesty. Sanders was also favored among younger female voters.
I believe that on Super Tuesday, we have got an excellent chance to win many of those states.
And we can tell you late tonight, Marco Rubio did narrowly edge Ted Cruz for 2nd place in South Carolina.
Republicans here in Washington state today launched the process to elect the delegates who will nominate the GOP presidential candidate. Today was the state's Republican precinct caucus day. Now, eventually, 44 delegates from across the state will be chosen to represent Washington at the GOP National Convention in July. Winslow Hayes would like to be chosen to support his pick, Marco Rubio.
I think he's electable, and I think that it's absolutely critical with the Senate and the White House at risk.
Democrats will hold their precinct caucuses on March 26th. Well, at least 3 people are dead after a massive cyclone tore across Fiji. Take a look at this video here. 2 people were killed when the house they were taking shelter in collapsed. Cyclone Winston hit the Pacific Island chain with wind speeds of up to 177 miles an hour, destroying hundreds of homes there and shredding crops. A curfew has been extended through Sunday, and police are empowered there to make arrests without a warrant.
Good heavens from that video there. Let's take a live look now over Seattle. It is dry out there tonight after, frankly, a beautiful day for this time of year, but we do have some rain to look forward to tomorrow. If that's your cup of tea.
Yeah, well, meteorologist Kelly Franson is in the Kiro 7 Pinpoint Weather Center tracking it for us tonight.
I like that you tried to put a positive spin on that. Rain to look forward to. You know, yes, we do have some rain moving back in. We actually have this front offshore, so it'll be a little while before it gets in here. We had some cloud cover move in a little earlier this evening. A lot of that is actually pushed back on out. Now we have some fog developing, which you can't see here on Storm Tracker, but I can tell you it's out there down around Olympia, where we've already dropped down to 32 degrees, 32 in Bremerton right now as well. We're still holding on to the low 40s in Seattle, but a chilly night nonetheless. We'll all be dipping down to the 30s, those of us that are not there already. And yes, rain makes a comeback tomorrow. I'll time that out for you and let you know when to expect a sunny stretch of weather coming up at 11:17.
All right, thanks, Callie. Well, investigators say a police officer wasted no time after fire erupted inside a Kitsap County home. A still picture shows the damage to the kitchen there after last night. night's fire in Suquamish. Investigators say a pan of cooking oil caught fire on the stove, and it quickly spread out of control. The first officer on the scene used a fire extinguisher to keep that fire from spreading to the rest of the home. Fortunately, there were no injuries.
The one person who may know what caused this mysterious apartment fire remains hospitalized with serious injuries. More than 40 people lost their homes when the fire engulfed the apartment building early this morning. Neighbors did all they could to make sure everyone got out safely.
I ran down to each apartment building, banging on the doors to get everyone out. By the time I got to the end, the roof and ceiling were catching blaze on fire. Ran around the other side of the front, and by the time I got to the front, the whole apartment building was on fire.
We talked with investigators. They believe the fire started in a woman's apartment. Now, she was able to make it out of the building, but then was found on the grass unconscious. Investigators hope to talk with her in the coming days.
Police have arrested a man accused of attacking another passenger on a party boat on Lake Washington last night. Now, that passenger was last listed in serious condition at Harborview after being stabbed twice in the chest. The officers interviewed passengers, and they were able to identify that suspect before he exited the boat. Officers found the knife and booked the suspect for investigation of assault.
Vice President Joe Biden joined the family of Antonin Scalia today as the late Supreme Court justice was laid to rest. Pallbearers, carried his flag-draped casket into the Basilica of the nation's largest Roman Catholic church in Washington, D.C. Scalia was remembered as a man of faith with deep love for his country and family.
It always gets me when I read something in the media about him being a curmudgeon. He was the warmest, funniest guy I know.
Scalia was buried during a private ceremony. He died unexpectedly last weekend while on a hunting trip in West Texas.
Tonight, we now know that a bacteria infection killed Chai the elephant. The Oklahoma City Zoo and Botanical Garden says a necropsy showed the cause of death to be a systemic bacterial infection in Chai's bloodstream, which is a non-contagious condition. Now, the elephant was transferred from Woodland Park Zoo to Oklahoma City Zoo 8 months ago, along with an elephant named Bamboo. Friends of the Woodland Park Zoo have asked the U.S. Department of Agriculture to investigate the death.
Coming up, Seattle joins protesters around the country to defend a convicted police officer, why they say he needs to go free.
Plus, tense new video captures witnesses diving into action to rescue the passengers of a helicopter that crashed at Pearl Harbor.